Here with Blaze head coach Kevin Moore after the home win against the Clan. Coach, just give us your overall thoughts on that game.
You know what? I thought we came out flying. I thought Grayson Constable really set the tone for us. Like you could see, he brought an extra gear and really wanted to just drag us into this right away, and everybody followed, and it was awesome. It was just really awesome to see the guys being more connected, making little plays, and like every week, there's things to clean up and things to get better. But that's the season, right? You're getting better every week, but I loved the effort. I loved the grit down the stretch, and the guys earned that.
And talk about the increased levels of engagement that the guys showed out there, because that was apparent.
Yeah, I mean that some of that is really just making a choice to be present, right? Like there's adversities in every hockey game, and there was certainly adversity in that game, and you got to plant your feet, and you got to just make sure you're totally focused, and I know the guys are prepared. They're a curious group. They ask a lot of questions so that they're all on the same page, and tonight they brought that focus presently, shift after shift, and so even at the end when you're bending a little bit, there was no break because they were focused enough to make the right plays to close it out.
It was a bit of a weird weekend in many ways, two very different performances. What data points did you take out of this weekend?
If you're reflecting on like the bad, right? Like yesterday was horrible, and we know that. But like if you just isolated the second period, a lot of the stuff we were doing good tonight was coming from that second period. And I think when you're losing in a game and you don't have it, you have to remember that you're creating team muscle memory, you're creating season muscle memory, and so that second period's a big sticking point for me because I think it gives me the ability to just kind of remind the guys like, hey, it's there. Like, don't play to a score, don't play the result. Just trust your process and trust your, I guess your consistency, and then from there you can just build. And so that's the big takeaway, and that's the takeaway, win or lose. You evaluate the same way, and you grow and move forward, and in the end, when the dust settles, you hope that the results are exactly where you want them to be.
Some good building blocks in place to what is a big game on Wednesday. I know you're very pragmatic, Kevin, but the Nottingham Panthers pose an interesting challenge.
Yeah. That's this league. Everybody's an interesting challenge in their own way. We know they're well coached. We know they pack it in defensively. I like how they transition, and that's something you got to be aware of, especially on the big ice, and making sure your angles are good. And when you're in the neutral zone, you got to make sure that you're surfing appropriately and all of that. So yeah, they're an interesting challenge. They're in some ways no more interesting than Glasgow or Sheffield or Cardiff or all the other teams in the league, but it's a fun problem solving, I guess, exercise for us as always.
Thank you, Coach.